it's that time of year where brand supremacy becomes a thing again, I guess. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 33 of Under the Middle Rope. I'm your host, Jose Taboada, and yes, it is our Survivor Series predictions episode now, 2 days away from the final Big Four pay-per-view of 2020. The brand supremacy pay-per-view, the best of the best, as its tagline, where Team Raw goes up against Team SmackDown, the only time of the year where that happens. Again, quote unquote, I'm just spitballing what they spitball every year with this pay-per-view, and let's face it, there hasn't been much of a build. If you want to say there was a build to begin with, it's been a rough upbringing to the Survivor Series. But here we are now, all ready to go. And of course, Pete, RJ, Nick, they're all back to predict, hoping to become once again Under the Middle Rope champion, as I currently am, as I hug this WWE Championship belt here. I do have an announcement that, as I said at the end of last week's episode, that there is an announcement regarding something. I realized I didn't spoil it, so at the start of the discussion, you're going to hear that announcement. The three guys, they didn't know as well until I announced it, so we're very excited for that. And we get into this quote-unquote build of a Survivor Series. Like I said, 6 matches on the card, and who can forget, well, I guess we did apparently, the Undertaker's farewell. If it is going to be a farewell, it's WWE. You never know with WWE, and you never know with The Undertaker, celebrating his 30th anniversary of his debut at the 1990 Survivor Series. So, lots to get to, lots to talk about. So the only thing that I can say is just sit back, relax, and enjoy our Survivor Series predictions. Hey everybody, welcome to the discussion. We have a whole gang here. Whole gang is back. Nick has returned after he was asked to relinquish the title, or he asked to relinquish the title himself. Pete is back. RJ is back. A whole squad's here ready for our Survivor Series predictions, aren't we, gentlemen?
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
Sure. All right, I like the enthusiasm. Now, last week at the end of the show, at the end of last week's episode, I said there was going to be an announcement, and I told these guys there was going to be an announcement. They have no idea what I'm going to say. I mean, it's not that big, but I kind of wanted to get their genuine reaction. But of course, everybody knows that I'm currently the Under the Middle Rope champion. Let's get the graphic and let it shine. Doesn't matter right now. However, I was thinking about it. I was thinking long and hard about what to do in terms of the direction of this podcast. And so, as of today, moving forward, the podcast title will only be defended on Big Four pay-per-views: the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, which means that whoever wins this predictions will not put up their title until the Royal Rumble, and so on and so forth. So no TLC predictions champion anymore. No more Fastlane, Elimination Chamber, whatever it is. From now on, we're going to make it a little bit more meaningful instead of just throwing predictions left and right. And that's only WWE Big Four. We could include Money in the Bank for a fifth. I'm not 100% positive, but it's only WWE. AEW as well will only do strictly Fallout. Any questions? Any thoughts, gentlemen?
Is it still reasonable to refer to Survivor Series as a Big Four pay-per-view, considering how crap this card looks?
Yes, we are still going to refer to this pay-per-view as a Big Four pay-per-view, and rightfully so, because it's
the best of the best.
Survivor
Come on.
Series.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Nick. It is the best. I just ripped my sheet of paper.
Historic, sure.
Best. It is the best of best. I'm losing everything today. The best of best. Of course, like Pete said, this pay-per-view has been horrible with build-up. I've never seen it, but the only significant build-up happened last night on Monday Night Raw, because of course we tape these episodes for you on Tuesdays. So we're gonna get to that when we can. Obviously, we're talking about the world title, so we're gonna get to that when we get there. For now, 6 matches on the card. I don't think there's going to be anything else added on to it, because this is normally Raw versus SmackDown, champion versus champion. No other significant match has been added on to this card in the last few years or so, unless I'm wrong, except for Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, maybe. By the way, show of hands if you have attended a Survivor Series. Thank you. So now that this half of the graphic of the screen is what the Survivor Series either didn't, because they're in the UK. The first thing we're going to talk about before we start is the one thing that I feel like has gone under the radar, which it shouldn't, but I mean, it's all over YouTube, it's all over their social media, but to me, it feels like it's under the radar. And that's Undertaker's farewell, assuming this is a farewell. Of course, the Survivor Series will mark the 30th anniversary since he debuted. I know everybody talks about how big Survivor Series is with The Undertaker. To me, it doesn't even feel like he should be associated with Survivor Series anymore because of what he's done at WrestleMania. So I don't know why everybody's going crazy, but it is what it is. I'm gonna circle around, seeing what you guys think about this. Do you think there's anything stupid that's gonna come out of this? Is it legit a goodbye? Nick, let's start with you.
I have no idea. I don't think it's a goodbye. I think it's going to set up some sort of angle. I don't know what it's going to be. But like you said, I completely forgotten about it until you mentioned it, to be honest, even though they've plugged it for the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks. But people are saying that there's quite a lot of people booked for it. I think Vega's supposed to be going, Rikishi's supposed to be there. So I assume there's going to be something happening, but I don't know what.
I mean, I hope you're wrong, but
I hope I'm wrong.
I don't think he's wrong.
Pete?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think this is going to lead to an angle for one final match at Mania next year, and that's going to be it. And it's probably going to be against Rikishi. That's the logical choice here. Clearly, there's where we're going. Honestly, by this point, like, Undertaker probably should have retired at Mania 28. Then he probably should have retired at Mania 30. Then he definitely should have retired at Mania 33. By Mania 36, like, that was quite a nice show, but, like, for God's sake, can we just be done now? At this point, I'm just thinking, just let the guy bloody rest. He's done enough. I don't care anymore. I don't want to see Taker anymore. I think he's done as much as he's going to do. He's had as many send-offs as you possibly can. And there's nothing left that I want to see Taker do. So, no.
You want to see the rematch for Goldberg?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Like, at this point, I can't think of somebody I want to see wrestle Taker, because I don't want to see Taker wrestle anymore. Because when I see him wrestle, I have my hands in my face in my hands, thinking, "Oh my God, is he going to die?"
Pretty much.
Trying to enjoy the match. So Mania was fine, because that was like the cinematic pre-recorded stuff. I was like, okay, I can watch that. I don't want to see him in an actual match anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna get like a Taker
I'd be happy seeing him in
Goldberg
pre-recorded
match
stuff
anyway.
again.
Like, if we're getting a match between the two of them anyway, we might as well just hide them together and just like, yeah, we'll just do Undertaker versus Goldberg. Like, if they have to have a match anyway, we'll just put them in the ring against each other. Like, whatever. I don't need to see either of them again. But
So
yeah, I
just
agree.
like one spear, Hell's Gate, tap out, finish, done.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
RJ, your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, I agree with these guys. Like, I also kind of, just like Nick said, completely kind of sort of forgot about it as well until you just brought it up, because it doesn't feel like it's as big as it probably, I think they want it to seem like. I don't think he's done. He's going to have another match at WrestleMania. I know he keeps saying that, like, we just want to put him to rest and retire, but does Taker really even want to retire, or does he just want to keep coming back and wrestle these matches and make a massive paycheck? Because as long as he keeps wanting to do that, Vince will be like, sure, I'll take you. I'll bring back Taker.
I mean, you're right, but I have to say that, I mean, with all the public appearances, everything now, we're finally seeing the behind the scenes of Taker. I mean, the documentaries have been spectacular, like The Brothers of Destruction, Paul Bearer, Last Ride, stuff like that. Everything's been great. I mean, he's even appearing sometime this week on that that chicken wing show, the hot sauce
ones,
right? I mean, like, he's really gone all out to make a public experience and let us get to see Mark. You know, he was so dedicated to protecting his character. And now it's like, so to me, it's like, hey, you're finally letting go of the mystique. Then I think that has to be like, that's it. Like, he's saying goodbye. I don't know. I mean, you're right. And then of course you have like people like Finn Balor tweeting saying, what if, that's that dream fantasy graphic. And of course everybody gets all, especially all the Taker fans. Oh my God, I want to see it. No, bad. Stop it. I say, let him rest. I'm good with. I don't want to see Balor Taker, and if you do, then you're selfish to the poor man who's like already giving you 30 years of his life.
Honestly, if I have to see a Taker match, though, I would rather it be someone I know is going to be able to protect him properly in the ring and not drop him on his head like Goldberg will.
That's true.
So
yes.
If I have to see one, then sure. But everything since Mania 33 has just felt like it's ruining Taker's legacy for me.
It's been a disaster.
Everything since 33.
Yeah,
when he got that fantastic send off at the end of Mania, that should have been it.
I agree.
Yeah, that actually made sense, because like Roman just came in and like, oh, this is like an old man he's facing now. This isn't the Undertaker anymore. Beats him, and then it's like perfect send off. Goodbye. And then all of a sudden we're coming back again for
and not to mention in the Brothers of
34, 35, and 36. Sorry, continue.
No. You're I interrupted you. And not to mention in the Brothers of Destruction doc. In the documentary, Kane asked Taker, okay, what happened with that decision at WrestleMania 30 with Lesnar going over whatnot? I mean, Taker assumed that he was going to go over that night, and he went into the Superdome, said, nope, it's not going to happen. And he said himself, like, somebody like Roman Reigns would be the guy to end the streak and then just essentially just end it. And it technically still happened. He still lost to Roman at a WrestleMania, still kept going. It's like, if you were saying to yourself that kind of should have been it there, what are you doing? And he had another 3 years after that. Just, I don't know. So I'm hoping this is a proper goodbye. I know diehard fans want to see him keep going, and I get it. You're a fan, but I mean, again, I'm also a fan too. We're all fans of Taker, but 30 years is like, holy smokes! When it's time, it's time.
Like, when
What
he
do you
retired,
think it could actually be if he does do another match? Who's it going to be?
Kane.
Like, ow.
I know Jose's against this, but I just still think it's going to be The Fiend at some point. Some sort of cinematic match, Firefly Funhouse.
See, I hope
That would
that
work.
either. Like, why would I want that? Put the Fiend on something else. So, like, you have the Fiend with the program with like 3-4 people right now. Why do we need to focus on Taker? Right?
Well, it is 5 months down the line. So, like,
I'd be happy if it's like a
Firefly
Firefly Funhouse match would be pretty cool. Though, like he did with Cena, going back through the history and stuff.
Do you really want to see? Bro? Do you really want to see?
I'm not
RJ.
fussed to see it, but if they did it, I'd with it.
RJ.
I'm not like biting at the tip to see the Fiend in the ring anyway. So, like, if I see a Firefly Funhouse with the Fiend and Taker, like, I would deal with that because I don't need to see the Taker in the ring, and I've gone on record saying that I don't like seeing the Fiend in the ring either. So I think the Fiend's best work is in the cinematic stuff. So I would actually be fine with that. Although I do think that the Brothers of Destruction and stuff, I do think Kane is potentially going to be a retirement match for Taker as well.
If it happens, of course. Assuming it happens. But we move on. I know, because I'm sure next week we're going to be sitting here discussing about what happens with that whole thing, because I know that's going to be I wonder if it closes the show even. I presume that it does next week because of how big, like, again a quote-unquote goodbye. And even then, if it does close, and everybody going crazy, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is there going to be something forward? Are we going to get ready for WrestleMania? So, excuse me. We'll see how it goes. Let's go on to the matches. Again, like I said at the beginning, 6 matches for Survivor Series. Champion versus champion, the best of the best. That's the tagline that I've given for Survivor Series. Raw versus SmackDown, brand supremacy. I can keep going on, and how the more I say it, the more I just do not care. We're gonna start off with the women's championship, or the 2 women's champions colliding together. Sasha Banks, Asuka. I'm telling you right now, I completely forgot that Asuka was Raw champion until she came out this past Monday on Raw in the tag match with Lana, or against Lana, I should say. That caught me off guard, but I'm like, okay, she's still champ. And I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say Sasha for fun because there is nothing that builds up. There's nothing that builds up to anything with this pay-per-view. Not a damn thing. And like, I don't know. Sasha's coming off her high from the Mandalorian. I don't know. Like, RJ, go. I'm just gonna pick Sasha.
See, I know. I kind of feel like this every year coming into Survivor Series though. Like, I feel like I don't think there's a great build coming into Survivor Series, and I'm like, oh, is this really a big 4 pay-per-view anymore? And then I end up enjoying Survivor Series. So
That's
I
true.
mean, I'm going in like, yeah, there's no build. This might suck, but I always actually end up liking Survivor Series. I really like the 5-on-5 matches they usually put on. So I know, hey, this could end up being a good show, and I would be that surprised. But on this one, I guess I think I'm gonna go with Sasha too. On this one, I think that is just a good time to give her another win over Asuka, or I guess, sorry, she didn't have a win over Asuka, so I guess to give her the win over Asuka. I mean, she feuded with them when she was with Bayley for the longest time. I think it's time to give her Sasha a definitive victory over Asuka, which I don't think she's really ever gotten. So I think we're gonna go with SmackDown on this one.
Pete.
Yeah, as you've already said, this is the worst built show of this year. There's 0 stakes, there's 0 hype, no storyline investment, no build whatsoever. Payback had a better build than this show, and that was 1 week after SummerSlam. That's how I would phrase it.
Yeah.
At least for the past Survivor Series brand versus brands, they tried some kind of brand tension and stuff. Like 2017, you had the Shane declaring brand warfare. 2018, you had like the Becky Lynch invasion, which led to that iconic moment with her stood bleeding at the top of the audience. Like last year, you had the invasion of NXT. At least they tried, and I would take that crap type of build, forced invasion, over this, because I might have even been invested in this match, but they did it like 2 months ago, and if it keeps happening and they already do that kind of stuff, why should I now care that they're invading? So in the spirit of that and the fact I don't care, I'm bringing back one more guest to the podcast, and I'm relying on my lucky coin all the way through. Because I don't care about the matches, so it can choose for me. So I'm going with 500 for Asuka, and we have got Sasha.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going with Sasha. Yeah, I just, as you said, Asuka's being treated like dog crap at the moment. No one cares. She's not even part of any of the storylines on Raw. At least Sasha has some stuff going on in SmackDown. Asuka has nothing. I'm just sad.
The power of the coin, people. If you don't remember what the power of the coin was, I believe it was SummerSlam, was it, that he used it?
He didn't win.
He didn't win.
I beat him.
It came second to 6 people.
Yes, that's also true. Pete's flip of a poker chip resulted in nearly brought in the title the last time we did this. So happy that the power of the coin is back. It's always a fun time. And we were all just laughing. So we'll see what happens this time around. So good luck to you, Pete, and good luck to the coin.
I do want to add something to what Pete said before Nick takes his picks here. So we just like you said, we've seen Asuka versus Bayley like literally 2 months ago, and that's a thing about how poorly timed the Survivor Series is too. We just had a draft; like all these people were on the same brand like a month ago. So I mean, like, oh, I'm fighting for Raw, even though I just got drafted to Raw from SmackDown like 25 minutes ago. So I mean, like, I think the whole timing of the event in the draft is kind of whack too. Like maybe they should have had Survivor Series first and then redrafted, because then you battle for brand supremacy. You might have a better lead up, and then we'll do the draft after. So I mean, I think that's something that's also kind of
I also
up the
think
build
draft
too.
should be right after Mania. So I think Mania should almost be like the closing, and then just after that you can have your restart point, and that can be the draft taking place right after Mania.
That was what the first few drafts were back in the day. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you had like WrestleMania 18, the first draft, and then I believe after WrestleMania 20, you had another set of drafts. So I like that right after WrestleMania. Nicholas,
I agree with pretty much what everyone's saying. This has been a really poorly built show. There just needs to be some sort of stakes for me to care. Like people have said before, why not have the winning team get the number 30 spot in the Rumble? Something like that. Just give it something to mean. We had literally have a show 2 months before called Clash of Champions. Why not do that? Do this then. Why do it at Survivor Series? And going off RJ was saying about the draft thing, I went through the men's Survivor Series team. Only one of them was on Raw before the draft. So why should we care that they're representing Raw in this? Keith Lee was the only one from Raw. So we had Riddle, AJ, Strowman, and I forgot what the other one is. Sheamus. All came from SmackDown. So why should we even care?
That's true.
And like you said, Jose, I completely forgot that Asuka was the Raw Women's Champion. I can't remember the last time she defended the title against Zelina Vega. Vega, maybe a couple of pay-per-views ago. So with that, I'm going to go with Sasha as well, because she's the only one that's really doing something. There may be some sort of screwy finish. Maybe Carmella gets involved. But yeah, Sasha.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Carmella. Yeah, that actually could be a factor.
Could be a DQ. I just don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go with Sasha.
You're right. All right, so let's move on to the tag title situation. The Raw and SmackDown tag champs. The New Day, the Raw champion, taking on the SmackDown tag champions, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, who, of course, let's not forget that these two were champions before the brand split and just literally traded titles like how you would trade a Charizard with a Blastoise when you were younger in Pokemon cards. That simple, that easy. I know a lot of people were upset about it. To me, it made sense because, well, they're champions. What are you gonna do? Like it just makes sense. Like just trade. Like, I like blue, you like red. Great, it works out. I don't know. So that's the situation we have now. Again, nothing drastically big. I mean, you could say that these two had like somewhat of a little like encounter at the draft when they traded titles. I don't know if they called each other out. I mean, it's so hard. I don't know. I don't like it. So for giggles, I'm gonna say New Day, and this goes to Team Raw. I don't know. I don't like. Nick.
Again, there's going to be a recurrent theme going through this. It's just one of these things that why should we care? I mean, they've had a little bit of build with Street Profits and Big E doing some stupid stuff on SmackDown. With the whole title swap thing, I still think they should have just merged the division because there's not enough tag teams for 2 shows. So you've probably got Street Profits, the Usos when they come back, New Day, and Lucha House Party. That's probably your 4 tag teams. Hurt Business, maybe. But again, one I don't care for. I'm going to go with the Street Profits
There we go.
for reasons. That's all I got.
There is our first difference in the predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Pete, we go to the coin.
Yeah, we've watched Nick's in there as well. There are a few other tag teams, but always like makeshift teams where they've just been forced together. So it's like Nakamura and Cesaro, Ziggler and Rude. It's people like that where they haven't developed actual tag teams coming through. Let's see, 500 for New Day. We are going with New Day. This is boring, but we didn't even know this was going to be a match until yesterday from when we were recording. Like, they defended the titles yesterday. It could have changed. Same for one of the other matches we'll get on to, but there's no hatred. There's no real rivalry. There's no build. I hated the fact they swapped the tag titles. I think I made that pretty clear. But there's just nothing to get me invested. This could be a fantastic match, but at the end of the day, it's an exhibition match. That's all it is. It could be on Raw. It's happening, and there's just nothing at stake. These two teams are both fantastic, and they could put on a fantastic match, but I'm just not invested enough to care. And I'll probably enjoy it when it happens, but that's about it.
Roy Jordan.
And they really could have made us care about this match too. The Street Profits and the New Day, two very good tag teams with like similar style gimmicks. Like, they could have had some good promos with each other. They could have had some good segments with each other. They just didn't really do a ton about it or make us care, which obviously is a recurring theme, like we've all said. I think I'm going to go with the Street Profits on this one. New Day's beating everybody in the world. I just think that it could be a good match, and I think the Street Profits could, I guess, benefit from the victory more than the New Day. I don't know. I guess I'm going to go with that one, even though I'm not sure winning this match benefits either team. But I'm going to go with the Profits anyway, because I think that they could use, if they could beat the New Day when the New Day's already beaten everybody. They don't need to beat the Profits.
Yeah. There's our first difference in the prediction so far. And of course, just to bring out, when you guys talk about stakes and whatnot, I will never forget Survivor Series 2016 in Toronto when Stephanie McMahon told Team Raw that if they didn't win, they'd all be fired. And Team SmackDown won anyways. And they all still had their job. So it's like, at this rate, you're like, nah, what stakes when you had like such a big stake like that in 2016 and nobody lost their jobs? Because technically, Strowman, Rollins, who else was on the team, RJ, that night?
Strowman, Rollins. I mean, all of the Shield was in the match.
Roman was Raw.
Yeah, Roman was Raw
because Ambrose was on SmackDown.
No, I think Ambrose was on Raw too, and he turned on them. Maybe
he was on
SmackDown and he helped them.
Ambrose was SmackDown.
He helped them. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know. And they did the same thing with the Survivor Series when Ziggler was the sole survivor too. The authorities were supposed to lose their power, and they were like, "No."
Oh, that's right. And then Sting came in.
Edge. Come on, he's going to murder a man on TV.
Let's move on to the mid-card situation. The Intercontinental Champion and the United States Champion, Bobby Lashley, Raw's United States, Sami Zayn, SmackDown's Intercontinental Champion. Again, I'm not going to repeat it. We all know there's nothing to it. I am going to go with Sami. I'm going to go with Sami. He's on a bit of a high. I mean, the guy's been crazy anyways. He's on a bit of a high. He's been having a good run with the title. The U.S. champion, I cannot really care for. I mean, her business is cool too, but I mean, what's it to it? I'm just gonna go Sami Zayn. RJ?
I really want to see Sami Zayn win. I'm just not sure they're gonna let him beat Bobby Lashley. So I'm gonna go with Lashley. I think they're trying to make the Hurt Business seem kind of important on Raw, which they kind of are, I guess, to their credit. They're one of my more entertaining things on Raw, even though I'm not loving Raw these days.
They are.
But I'm going to go with Lashley just because I don't see Sami winning this match. As much as I would really like them to, I just don't see little chicken heel Sami going over big bruising tweener Bobby Lashley right now. I think Bobby wins this pretty quickly, actually.
We're going to go to the coin last. Nick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lashley as well. I'd like to see Sami win. If he does win, they're going to do some sort of finish that they did with the title match on SmackDown last week, where he hooked up Cruz at the apron. I think they'll tease Sami being a sort of chicken shit heel, trying to do dastardly thing like that or whatever. I just can't see them letting Lashley lose to Sami Zayn because I don't really think they care much for him. I've been really enjoying Sami Zayn since he come back. I think he's been really good, and I'm glad he's getting a bit of a run with the title. But again, this is another match that we don't really care about. This just brings back bad memories of the Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley angle from 2-3 years ago with the
Oh God, you're
Blood
right.
Sisters. Remember that?
Yeah.
Jeez, wow,
Yeah.
Nick. Way to
Remember that weird assault course around the ring that they built up?
Oh God.
the
Babyface
obstacle
Bobby
course.
Lashley. Hey.
To the coin we go. The power of the coin.
500 for Sami. It is Lashley. I don't. They haven't even attempted to make a build out of this match. They've not even really done like the backstage promos like they did with the tag one. They're just. Has Sami been on TV? I know he fought Apollo Crews and got a chicken heel win out of it, but like this is just heel versus cowardly heel, and I don't care. Just one of them will win. One of them will win. That's all.
So
I
the premise of this match has been Bobby Lashley is the champion of the United States and Sami Zayn is the champion of the whole world. That's literally what they've said. That's how they built it.
Yeah.
No,
Champion of all the continents.
Of the continents, yeah.
Yeah,
all the continents.
He's not champion of the seas. It's fine.
just the land. Just the land.
Just the land.
Just the land.
Yeah.
That's the difference between that
Drew
and
and,
the
Drew, and,
like,
Drew and Roman have the. No, I think Roman's got all the planets. Roman's got the planets.
Oh.
Roman has everything.
Yeah, he's got every planet. Like he's got the aliens out on Mars. He's got Pluto. He's got all the rings of Saturn. Like he's got it all. And
It's
then Drew's got the world. So I mean, I guess Roman's the true champion again. If you really think about it, because he has the planets like of the solar system.
Yeah. Exactly. Then Drew's got the world. So then he's next in line. Whereas Sami Zayn's got all of the land. So then it's him.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Lashley's only got the United States.
We need a champion of the seas. We seriously need a champion of the seas. Like I don't know where we're gonna put this in, but we seriously need one.
How did we
Bring back Paul Burchill?
How did we
The pirate
champion of the seas.
How did we just come up with a ranking system of the titles? That just
You just have to really think about it, to be honest. Universe, world, the continents, United States. There you go.
women.
Perfect.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
And right at the bottom, right down at the bottom, women.
You know,
No, I think the women's belts are probably rated higher than
I'm sorry.
the Intercontinental. I think the women's belts are being treated higher than the Intercontinental.
they have to be. Yeah, they
They're
obviously
responsible
are.
for all women. So they're
Yeah,
like
all the
champion of
women.
all women. So
Half the world.
that's like half of everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus Christ.
Really took a right turn.
Woo! Champion of the seas. Right now, RJ and Nick have the same picks. Pete and I just got our first differences. So this still looks up in the air unless RJ and Nick
wait, I think I'm still the same as Nick, aren't I?
Yeah, I think me and Peter are the same, aren't we?
No.
No, you picked Street. You picked Street.
Oh,
Yeah,
Profits.
RJ picked Street.
Yeah.
RJ and Nick are the same. Pete and Nick are the same.
Well, that's group.
Oh yeah, Pete.
I think me
Pete
and
took the
Nick.
New Day.
Yeah, I think me and Nick. Are the same.
Let's move on to the look who it is. Nicholas Oliver Charlick is back on the podcast. Oh, Nikki. Oliver. Oh,
Night of all the returns.
good night. Yeah, the coin comes back. Look at little Oliver. Hey, buddy.
Say hello.
There he is. Good
Maybe
old
like
Oliver
Drew or Roman.
Charlick. First
Yeah.
appearance since WrestleMania, folks. He is not. Oh, that's adorable.
Is he taking Drew or Roman?
And that is the next match we're going to be talking about. It is the World Championship.
Oh, you just gave me an idea. Next predictions. I'm getting him to do my predictions.
Coming up next, it is the World Championship situation. Drew McIntyre, who is now the WWE Champion, as we defeated Randy Orton this past Monday on Raw, taking on SmackDown's Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief. This one, someone has a build because Drew made a visit to SmackDown to confront him. And of course, I was being skeptical for Raw. I'm saying there is no way they're going to let that happen. I know he's coming out with a sword and all that, but Miz is going to ruin everybody's night. And there's 35 minutes left on the show. There's no way this goes on for 35 minutes. It did. I was wrong. Thank goodness, I guess. And Drew is once again your WWE champion, pleasing the likes of Nick and Pete. As I've heard, they slept easily last night upon hearing the news. So good on you guys. Thank you. I'm happy that you guys are able to sleep again. I mean, it felt anticlimactic to me, but that's just me. Whatever. This one, I mean, look. I'm happy for Drew. I really, really am. I'm happy he's world champ again. Obviously, looks like the win off Survivor Series. The Hell in a Cell win for Randy was just probably just to get another one in the count towards 16 title, whatever, 16 time, whatever it is. But Drew still does not convince me to be that strong when you pair him up with Roman, which is why I'm going to stick with Roman for this match. Because Roman, I just think I'm not saying it's a squash, but he's going to run him over. I do think that Roman's going to probably come out and just not completely squash him, but I think he's going to put up a fight, but he's going to come out on top at the end. So I'm going to go with Roman because nobody beats Roman right now, and it's Roman. It's Roman's big boy. So I don't know. That's just me. RJ?
See, I think the only way Roman wins this match is if Jay helps him. Personally, I think I really want Drew to win. I think that the win I think his entrance yesterday, like before the match, for starters, I'm like, this guy's a star. Like this guy, there's no way he's losing. Like for starters, going into the match last night, I'm like, this title is changing hands. Like we're getting Drew versus Roman, or else they would have never had Drew on SmackDown. So that kind of, I'm surprised they did that last week instead of having the title match last night and then having Drew show up on SmackDown this week, because it kind of, maybe that's why Jose thought it was a little anticlimactic, just because it seemed a little predictable that Drew was going to win last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they're both being booked pretty strong here. I think that the win for Orton was kind of just shown that Orton can pull off a fluke win with the RKO, and that Drew's beaten him 3 out of 4 other times. So I think Drew still looks pretty strong. I really do want Drew to win this match, but I think Roman is going to win with the help of his buddy Jey Uso. Because I don't really see either of them I don't think either of them can afford to really take a loss here, which is kind of why I'm surprised they're doing this match. I could see the Miz getting involved in some way, and I asked Jose this yesterday. Can he win both titles?
Legally, no.
Why not? Why can't they change the rules? Why can't they make it up on the fly?
Because it's not a title match that he's cashing in on.
So he has to cash in on one of them, and I guess it changes I guess he can't cash in during this match then, right?
Yeah, so if he cashes in, does he just shove the other guy to the side, get out of the ring? This isn't your match anymore.
It's like Raw wins. Raw wins. I'm cashing in for Raw, so Roman can't wrestle anymore.
Well, exactly, right? I mean,
honestly, that probably is my way. I think this is going.
It's possible. Miz wins it for Raw by cashing in on Roman or something like that. I don't know.
I think this is going to be a non-finish.
I think a non-finish is very possible here because I don't think either of them can really lose.
I'm still going McCoy, but I think this is going to end up with a non-finish.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, I thought Drew was going to get involved last night on Raw. Doesn't get involved, and now I'm like, hey, he's been teasing it hard. We have another pay-per-view coming up that involves no disqualifications, climbing the ladder, where you can have many people in one match. I kind of see this as the cash-in time. I mean, then again, I've been wrong. The last 3 times I've said this.
I could also see Miz running up the ladder during TLC, not in the middle of the match, like you just said, where there's a ladder match going on, and Miz just comes running down and runs up and grabs the.
Actually, that would be quite cool. That would be quite.
I would love it. I would be a big fan. But okay, so I got Roman. RJ got Roman.
I'm gonna take Roman. Yeah.
Pete to the coin.
500 for Drew. We are going with Drew.
All right, look at that. There you go.
I'm with Big Daddy Drew. This, as you said, is the only one that I've even half attempted so far to make us invested in. It could be fun, but I feel it's a little bit anticlimactic in terms of doing this match now. I love that Drew's champ again. I love that he's now a 2-time champ. It's great. It's fun. As you said, it was very predictable considering he kind of had to, considering the build that they'd just done. I feel like this match should have had a bigger build when they were eventually going to do it again, because obviously the last time they did it was Roman's return match. But now that Drew's kind of been established as your top face of one brand, Roman's being your top heel on the other one, just throwing them in like this feels a little bit of a waste for me. And yeah, I think Miz is going to get involved. I don't know how. I don't know in what way. I was joking in the chat the other day that I think it'd be quite funny if he comes running down, tries to cash in, says I'm cashing in, and then the ref gets really confused who he's trying to cash in on. So he just spends a minute trying to clarify, where are you cashing in on Roman or are you cashing in on Drew? I'm confused here. Which one are you doing? And then that leads to someone getting a cheeky win behind the referee's back, and that's how they win it. And Miz fails his cash in, or Miz gets Claymore or speared or whatever, and doesn't even need to actually officially cash in, but just some kind of shenanigans, I think, is what's happening here. And cool. I'm going with Drew because Drew is big sexy Drew. Drew is big sexy Drew. I would have probably gone with Roman if I was predicting it, but apparently the coin has told me to be faithful to my Big Daddy Drew. And Big Daddy Drew, I'm sticking with you. I'm sticking by your side.
All right. Okay. We go on to our other. We go on to our other. All right. We get it. The coin. We go over to our other local Brit, Nicholas.
Yeah, this is a weird one because I think this can't have some sort of conclusive finish because, like Pete said, you got Drew as your biggest face in the company, Roman's your biggest heel. You really blow this off and then nothing in match at Survivor Series. I've said in the chat before, like laid out my whole plan for WrestleMania. I don't think this is the end of it. I think this is a start of Drew v Roman at Mania. I know they're on different brands.
I think so.
But I've said I think Miz cashes in. Randy wins the title back at TLC in a triple threat match or something. So that sets up him and Edge when he wins the Rumble. And then Drew is going to go to SmackDown to challenge Roman for Mania next year.
See, I was thinking something similar, but I could see Drew going back to back and winning the Rumble again. Personally, I could see him getting cashed in on and then winning the Rumble back to back and then challenging Roman that way. I could see that happening. But I also think that Roman and Drew might face off in Mania if they don't get the Rock or whatever the hell they want to do with that.
If they're going to make him swap brands, I would prefer that he won the Rumble.
It makes more sense for him to do that.
It makes more sense.
I just can't get that feeling out of my head that they want to do Edge v Randy one more time. Clearly, yeah. I know not a lot of people want it anymore, but they're going to do it. And I think Edge going back at the Rumble kind of makes sense because he returned last year at the Rumble, and if he comes back to win it,
they can do that without him winning the Rumble though. So they could still just do the match.
Yeah, he could win the Chamber still afterwards. But I agree though. I think Edge is a favorite to win the Rumble, but I could see either being Edge or Drew. I'm not sure there's any other winners, to be honest with you.
Although I think the favorite in the betting is Big E for some reason, and I'm with Pete. They've not done enough to really make me care about him yet.
Oh, Big E, everybody! Oh, guys, it's Big E's time. It's Big E's time. Oh, guys, what?
He's not been doing anything. Like
Nick, your pick
prediction. I'm really torn. I'm going to go with Roman just because I don't think they can afford for him to lose yet. But I don't think it will be clean. I think it will be a DQ or a no finish. But yeah, I'm just going to go with Roman because I don't think that he's losing until Mania.
All right. So once again, now the predictions are starting to look a little bit more different, except for RG Nick. So that'll be hilarious. We'll see what happens in the next one. We move on now to the first of two reasons why this pay-per-view is called Survivor Series. We go on to the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. If this is your first time tuning into Survivor Series, don't even know what Survivor Series is. Basically, you have both teams, 5 competitors on each side of the ring, and one competitor from each team starting in the ring. The only way to win this match is to successfully eliminate your opponent's team entirely, and that's it. That's the match. Just eliminate everybody else. Hence the term elimination. I don't know. The women, see Raw, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, and now Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce, who replaced Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, taking on Team SmackDown, Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan. And at the time of this recording, the two final women for Team SmackDown have not been announced yet. So it could be, but obviously by the time that this is released, this episode is released to the public, we're going to presume that it's going to be announced already. So this is still up in the air. Obviously, sadly enough, the only build that this match has is the fact that Lana has now gone through a record-breaking 9 times by Nia Jax, which again looks. I'm sorry, I laugh. It's so funny. It's just so great to watch Nia just do that to Lana. So we're not going to predict who we think the sole survivor is going to be because this is too unpredictable. Because this could go anywhere and anywhere, anybody, and we don't even know who the last 2 members are for SmackDown to begin with. That being said, I'm going to pick the Team Raw for the women, and if I had to pick a sole survivor, again, not counting this words of predictions, we all know it's going to be Lana. There's nothing else in this world that says Lana will not be the sole survivor, and I will be laughing at my screen, my TV above me, for about 10 minutes straight when that happens, because they have been pushing Lana for some weird reason as this diehard underdog, this amazing come from a comeback story. I don't know, but I'm picking Team Raw, and Lana is going to be the sole survivor, and I'm going to be laughing my head off for the rest of the night. Nick?
Yeah, you could be right. They are teasing that sort of Lana's going to do something. However, I don't think it's going to be yet. I think they're going to get a few more weeks of her getting put through a table yet.
Really?
So I'm going to go for SmackDown. This one.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Raw, looking at Raw's women's
That's
team, to
interesting.
me, that's probably one of the worst women's Survivor Series teams I've ever seen. It is terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
So when they got rid of the two last night on Raw, I thought, oh, maybe we'll get a surprise. Maybe Charlotte will come back at Survivor Series and she'll be one of the surprise entrants. And they replace her with Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans, former Royal Rumble winner Lacey Evans.
Nope, not her. Not. Oh,
I just don't understand it. It's a strange one. Yeah, so I'm going to go for SmackDown. I can't think of who the other two members are going to be. Bailey possibly could be one of them.
No, I'm going for Billy Kay.
Oh, Billy Kay, yeah.
Billy Kay.
Yeah,
put Billy Kay in there. You got to put her up against Peyton Royce.
Can I get something out here before I make my pick? One of the only actual, we discussed this before, how we have all these makeshift tag teams, right? One of the only women's tag teams that was real was the Iconics. And they split up the Iconics just to throw Peyton Royce into a tag team with Lacey Evans. Yeah. Like, what the hell is that? And I like the Iconics. Like, they're hilarious together. What is that? Like, if you're going to split them up and try and go with Peyton as like a singles competitor because you think she's got some talent, like, go for it. But you just put her into another tag team. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And Bailey Kay might end up being the standard of the two because she's hilarious anyway. So, I mean, I don't know why you break them up anyway, but that's all. I just need to get that out. Because
no, you can go ahead and make your pick. You can go ahead and go next, Arjun.
Yeah, so Raw's team looks like garbage, like Pete said. SmackDown's team, I don't think it even matters who gets added on because I think Bianca is going to just run through Team Raw anyway. So I'm going to go with Team SmackDown. I think Bianca is going to just pretty much dominate and eliminate all 5 of them, to be honest with you. I think they're trying to push her as this like next big thing on SmackDown, which she very well could be. I'm a huge Bianca fan. I think she looks really good, and I really like SmackDown. So I'm going with Bianca. Who have I taken so far, just to make sure that I'm not picking too many of one team? Because I do think SmackDown's going to win this. I just want to make sure
that's a great point. I mean, for you, RJ, you have Sasha from Team SmackDown, Street Profits from Team SmackDown, Bobby from Team Raw, and then Roman and Team. And so you have.
I'm going hardcore SmackDown, eh?
You're going hardcore SmackDown for the night, yeah.
Well, it looks like I'm probably going to get at least 2 of those wrong then. I'm still going SmackDown here. But
well, if you get 2 of those wrong, so does Nick.
Yeah. So I could see if Raw wins, Lana being the sole survivor. I actually think if Raw wins, Lana will be the sole survivor, just because that's kind of something they're going to do some with Lana. But I do actually agree with Nick, and I do think that might actually come in Lana taking the tag team titles from Nia in the future. I could see that being the payoff to the Lana story, and not here at Survivor Series. So I'm going to go SmackDown.
To the coin we go. The magical coin. The magical coin.
500 for SmackDown. We are going for SmackDown. I kind of really like RJ's logic, actually. I do think Bianca Belair is going to be sole survivor probably and rip through Raw. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are probably going to keep up their tension between who's the bigger one and probably cost each other in the match, maybe. And I was going to bring up the same thing with Lacey and Peyton Royce. I am so pissed off that they split the Iconics, who in my opinion are 2 of the most entertaining people together. They have such great chemistry together because they built it up naturally from years before WWE. They came through the ranks together. They are actually friends. And RJ, and you don't have that with many teams WWE, so why you would split one up to throw them together just probably because Vince prefers blonde people. And that's probably the only reason. It's probably the same reason why Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose are a team, because you split Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville to put Mandy Rose with Dana Brooke. And the thing that really pissed me off in this is Nia Jax backstage when she found out Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans were the new team members, and she was like, "Look at who you've stuck us with now," as if it's such a downgrade.
Yeah.
From Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Dana Brooke, who has been basically a jobber of the women's division the entire time, and Mandy Rose, whose only big feud was a love angle with Otis. Like, there's no history of them being good competitors. Lacey Evans probably has the best history of being a competitor out of those 4, because she's at least been in the title feuds.
Peyton was a tag team champion at one point. I mean, that's
Well,
a little better. Yeah.
So, like, just again, Riot Squad have got a new look because that's apparently a storyline now. Just getting a new look constitutes something. And so, yeah, I think the only person in this match that WWE properly cares about is Bianca Belair. So why not SmackDown win? And I hate Nia Jax. I can't stand Lana. And I have no interest in caring about Lana. If you're going to try and make that angle funny, do a different thing each week. Do it like, oh my God, you killed Kenny. Like, have a backstage put through like a window, like a barbershop window. Like, just do a different thing each week and be like, oh my God, they've killed Lana. Again, every single week. And that's it. That would be way more amusing. I don't care.
The camera just cuts to Lana like lying on the floor in the backstage somewhere. You don't know what happened. Just like a window smash.
Exactly.
Just like a dead body.
Like, or like actually start gimmicking things from backstage. Like have one with like the forklift pressed down on top of it. Just, like,
do you guys remember WWE referee Tim White and the vignettes that they did with him? The self harm angle.
Ones? Oh my God!
Or
I watched through those like for the first time ever, like a few months ago, and I'm like, how did they do this? Like, how could they ever have actually thought this was okay to put on the screen?
Yeah, that's like, not what I was going for.
No, I know. I'm not saying that's what you go for. No. It's I'm just saying it can be similar where it's like something just happens to the poor woman, and Tim White was.
Does anyone buy into this theory that they're doing this because of Mia or going to AEW?
No,
I think
no.
If anything, it's now more focused.
See, I would agree with Nick if WWE did not put out a chronicle for her.
Yeah,
because they're serious about this.
Did they really?
They put out a chronicle. They're gonna put out a chronicle about Lana. They're serious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No words. Let's move on to the men's 5-on-5 elimination match. Team Raw: AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and the Riddle. Yeah, big whoop. Team SmackDown: Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and the name that will be decided later because once again this is taped way before SmackDown airs, and because I have to edit, I have to get everything ready. So that's why we have no idea. That's why you are seeing TBD, to be decided. I'm gonna go SmackDown here. I think by picking SmackDown, this is telling. I'm predicting that they're gonna end up even 3-3 final. I think. Yeah. So what I got? 1, 2. Oh no, never mind. I picked the majority of SmackDown. Yeah, no. I'm saying I'm picking Team SmackDown, which gives me a 4-2 Survivor Series win over Raw. So I'm predicting that Team SmackDown gets 4 electoral votes over Team Raw. And see RJ.
There's no way this match main event's over Roman versus Drew, though, right?
Recount that right now.
Are we assuming this is going to main event, or do we think Roman versus Drew is going to main event?
I think Roman and Drew main event.
Didn't they say on Raw that Roman versus Drew is going to be the main event?
I just don't see how they could make anything but Roman versus Drew main event. Like they kind of have to. They have to at least pretend that's a big deal. It's their two guys.
Taker, I think closes anyway, regardless. But
yeah,
I guess.
I'm kind of mean like of the actual matches. I think that will be the final match on the show.
Yeah, I agree. I guess this one has it has a little bit of build, I guess, but not between like Raw versus SmackDown. It's between like all the guys on Raw just don't like each other. I guess that's gonna maybe end up causing some feuds in the future. I don't know. Again, I don't. They had that one segment on Raw a couple weeks back where AJ was like, "Why can't we just get along?" That I thought was kind of funny, and then ever since it's just kind of done the same thing every week where they just all try to tag each other in, and then ends up with Mustafa Ali getting a victory over the entire Raw team. So whatever way they're going there, Retribution finally gets a W, and it's over the guys that are supposed to be representing your brand.
Two, the mighty Retribution.
Yeah. So I do actually end up thinking that this is going to end up being a Raw victory because of that sort of tension. I think they're going to get it together and end up winning on Raw. And I also just, before Jose named the teams, probably couldn't have told you who was on Team SmackDown. And if you look at Team Raw and Team SmackDown, your ace on SmackDown is Jey Uso. and your ace on Raw is what, I don't know, AJ and whoever else, actual main eventers. So I'm gonna go with Raw here because I just think their overall team makeup is just significantly better. And I'm gonna go with Raw getting this victory because I have SmackDown winning everywhere else. So give me Raw. In some way, somehow they're gonna win this match.
RJ has 4 for SmackDown, 2 for Raw, same as me. Yep, same as me. So we both have a SmackDown victory so far. Nick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Raw on this one as well.
We have a tiebreaker situation. Right? Yeah. We have a tiebreaker situation.
They haven't really done, do we?
No, he's got the. No, we both picked the Street Profits. I think we do have a tie.
You both pick Sasha. You both pick Street Profits. You both pick Lashley, Roman, Team SmackDown for the women, and now Team Raw for the men.
Good picks, man.
Nick, that makes it a bit interesting.
Nick, your explanation?
Yeah, well, I'm going for it because I think they've built up this sort of tension between Team Raw over the last 3 or 4 weeks, which I've quite enjoyed. I mean, this week was a bit too much. I thought they were going to sort of gel together against Retribution. Now that makes me think they're definitely winning because they've got to get a win at some point.
Yeah.
Like RJ said, I don't think I could even name the Team SmackDown until you named it because they've not really acknowledged much of the men's Survivor Series team on SmackDown. It's all been to do with Roman. I assume that the last guy is going to be maybe like a last chance kind of thing from the ones that lost in the qualifiers, which was, I think, was Otis, Mysterio, and Daniel Bryan. So maybe one of those 3. But yeah, I'm going to go with Raw, and I think if we're going to, well, no, we're not taking Soul Survivor as well. I'm going to go with Keith Lee to be the Soul, if it's anyone. Because of last year, he was obviously the breakout for NXT, and then he lost to Roman right at the end, and he got the old fist bump. He needs to be built back up a little bit, I think. Old Keith.
I can tell you now, you've got the last Survivor wrong. So,
all right. Well, over to our to the apparently the predicting king.
Pete, 500 for Raw. We are going Raw. It's great. I actually kind of want to go SmackDown there, but oh well, we're going Raw. Like we all know, this match is coming down to Matt Riddle versus Baron Corbin at the end. Just to keep
no.
Riddle. He does not have a first name anymore.
Yeah, it's going to Riddle versus Corbin at the end, and they're going to have like 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the match, just 1v1. After everyone's eliminated.
What everybody wants to see.
Just putting an absolute not me. I'm really annoyed. Damn
it. So yeah, as the guys already said, this is like the absolute pinnacle of stupidity for the build of brand versus brand. It's AJ was on SmackDown, Sheamus was on SmackDown, Braun was on SmackDown, Riddle was on SmackDown and just called up from NXT, and Keith Lee was the main big standout last year for NXT on Survivor Series. So, and then even on Team SmackDown, Owens was on Raw, Rollins was on Raw, Jay is more invested in the Roman feud, and Corbin is Baron Corbin. So there is zero real reason why any of these should give an absolute rat's ass about winning this match, because why should they? Like, put on some stakes. Like, say, like the winning team will then compete in a fatal 5-way match to get like a number one contender.
Yeah,
something like that. Like, give them something like why they would want to work as a team to win this. Because at the moment, like, why should they want to work as a team to win this? Because if anything, they should be more pissed off with each other at this point. That why don't you just turn on your team members and get disqualified?
Yeah,
there's no reason to. So, yeah.
All right. Well, so Pete is the only one that has Raw stealing the night. Going on for Team Red over Team Blue. How dare you?
Has SmackDown ever won these things? It's always Raw.
Yes, 2016.
2016.
2016.
Orton.
Oh yeah, SmackDown did win that.
When he was with the Wyatts, I think.
They didn't actually win that. They lost 2-1. They won.
The whole night, you mean? Oh yeah.
On the night.
That's right.
Yeah.
On the night they lost the women's one and they lost the tag one and then they won the men's one.
NXT won last year. I can't.
NXT won last year. Was it 2018 or 2018?
Raw clean swept, didn't they?
Raw swept, and then Raw always wins these things.
I can't remember what 2017 was.
AJ and Brock was 2017, I think.
Let's check it out. 2017.
Oh, that's when the Triple H turned on Strowman. Really weirdly, turned on Shane.
Oh yeah, but anyway.
Oh yeah, that was another way. And Raw won that one.
Team Raw won that. Team Raw
Yeah.
won the women's match. The Shield won, so that's Raw.
It's New Day, right?
Yeah. Brock Lesnar won, which would be
Yeah, that was a great match. So, okay, so we go off to the tiebreaker situation, and normally we do the championship title, but of course, given that it is Survivor Series and elimination matches, we're going to do the time for the men's Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination match. I am going to go with 32-25 to start. Because it is still technically a 5-on-5, and they like to put focus on the men. RJ?
We're doing the men's one, right?
Yep.
You said 32-25?
Yep.
I feel like that's light. I'm going to go with 46-10.
46-10.
How long was the Survivor Series match when we were there, Jose? Like an hour.
It was. Okay, I'll give you that.
2016
an
was
hour.
very long. Though.
It was like an hour. And it was a good match, too. It was like an hour.
52-55.
These matches are not short, and you do not get a re-guess. Just because...
Yeah, but the other
That was
one's
a main
all
event,
about-
though, right?
Because I brought that up.
No,
I
no,
will
no,
tell you
no.
now by telling you.
But the main event was 1 minute 30. So
Yeah, 52-55 was when RJ and I
Yeah.
went in 2016.
Yeah, that's true.
Last
That's true. That's true.
2017, their Survivor Series match was 33-20. You can't re-guess, RJ. 33-20.
yeah, it's usually
2018 for the men
it's about that was short. That one.
was 24 minutes.
Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong.
Like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. And then
I'm not trying to
2019
tie. I'm not tie breaking with you anyway.
I think they
It's between me
vary.
and
A
Nick.
lot. They
in
vary. a lot.
2019, the 5-on-5 was 29-25.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I just have the. I have this. I have the one from Toronto just stuck in my head. Remember, it's like such a long.
Repeated
match.
40. What was it? 46.
I think I said 47-10, which I now think is obviously way too high. But I mean,
47.
maybe I am too. No, I'm just kidding.
47-10. Pete, I'm gonna go to you last again because I'm pretty sure you're gonna use the coin for the time again. Nick,
I'm going to go a bit lower. I don't think it's going to go that long. I'm going to go 29 and a half.
29-30. All right, Pete, how are you doing this?
Honestly, I wish I had something better planned, but I didn't really think anything about this pay-per-view, so I'm just going to randomly generate a number now between 1,500 and 4,500. And we have got 26.54.
How did you determine this?
I just did random
Number generator.
between 1,500 and 4,500.
Oh, so he obviously thinks 4,700 is too high too. So I mean,
Yeah,
What
I
about
just
today?
kind of went between 15 and 45 minutes. I thought that seemed reasonable.
Okay, so
Yeah, great. That's what we're doing.
all
I've got all
right.
the high numbers at least. Then I've got like
I think it-
37 and up.
Yeah, it probably just depends on whether or not there is how long the Undertaker segment goes.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
all-
I keep forgetting about that. Like I shot way too high here. There's more matches. There's 6 matches. There's no Goldberg squash. You got the Taker thing
You know of.
To
that
be
you know
fair,
of. Yeah,
to be fair, you know, I'm gonna give RJ the benefit of the doubt. 6 matches
better.
does make sense to go high. Does make sense to go high, and you don't know what Undertaker is gonna happen. Assuming that this could still go a tradition like 3-hour, maybe 4-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah. I was gonna say
It's-
Survivor Series was like a 4-hour pay-per-view. They've been doing like 3 hours when they've been lately. Like they've been doing shorter pay-per-views. Have you not
Which is
noticed that
fine,
recently?
which
sure.
I know like the UK people appreciate that.
So I made a mistake, but I got all the high numbers. So I think I should have like 39 plus. So we're just gonna aim for a
All right.
long match.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. As always, of course, like I said, this is the last time we're going to be predicting. We're going to be crowning a champion on a month-to-month basis. So I guess our stakes are a little bit higher than the actual Survivor Series stakes. Gentlemen, as always, thank you, and let us get to the closing.
See ya.
If they're playing for stakes, Otis should be on the team.
You made it to the end of the episode. You made it to the end. Let's go through the prediction table one more time. For the women's match, everybody went with Sasha across the board. For the tag team championship non-title match, Pete and myself went with New Day. RJ and Nick went with Street Profits. For the mid card, IC versus US, I'm the only one that went with Sami Zayn, as everybody else picked Bobby Lashley. For the world title situation, everybody but Pete picked Roman Reigns as he went with Drew McIntyre. For the women's 5-on-5 elimination match, I'm the only one that went with Team Raw, as everybody else went with Team SmackDown. And then for the men's Survivor Series team, I'm the only one that went with Team SmackDown. And everybody else went with Team Raw. And then for the tiebreaker, for the men's 5-on-5 match, I went with 32-25. RJ went with an alarming 47-10. Pete went with 29-30. And Nick went with 26-54. Of course, any matches that are added on after the fact will be thrown into the predictions table. Although I don't think there will be. That would be my guess. I don't think anybody else is expecting anything either. So that's that. And of course, like I said in the discussion, this will only be defended now on Big 4 pay-per-view. So I'm hoping that I can keep this to the Royal Rumble because we just want more available content for you, expand more on our content and just strictly predictions as I've been seeing in the last few months. So that is that. We're ready for Survivor Series. We'll see what happens. And of course, all I can say is just that. Thank you so much for watching. Become a patron, help support the podcast. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. I'm Jose Taboada. Enjoy Survivor Series, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great one. Bye.